Hello everybody and welcome to our first live podcast from the side of the Antalya competition field. I'm Chris, this is John.
Hi.
And we're here with Sjef Berg and Mackenzie Brown, who've been shooting yesterday and this morning. We're going to start off this little radio show, as we're going to call it, with the big news so far this week. Kang Chae-young's world record. John?
Yeah, very much the big news this week. The destroyer Chae-young destroyed the world record by 4 points, taking it from 6.87 to 6.91, I believe. Mackenzie, did you see any of this at all, or what do you think about what happened?
I saw at the very end her score, and she obviously seemed really excited, and then like the whole field erupted because he knew something had happened. But it's a very impressive score. Really, a lot of tough work goes into shooting that at a competition, especially.
And for those people at home who are kind of trying to increase their score, you know, when you increase from 500 to 550, 560 to 600, you know, they're big jumps, but the jump just from 687 to 691 is gigantic.
Absolutely.
How would you describe that?
Because 4 points doesn't seem like a lot, but when it's talking about shooting 58s and 59s each end, that's really what the big difference is making sure that there's not very much room for error at all. So I think it's definitely very impressive.
Yeah, and Sjef, so your personal best on the qualification round was the same as the old world record for the recurve women, wasn't it?
It was. And it still is my personal best because I haven't been able to beat it.
So, how did you shoot in those conditions? How did you make that score? And just compare that to you know the tension required to deliver that kind of thing.
My personal best was actually a bit of a weird story. I was in Shanghai and I was quite sick, so I started off with a 337 first half, and I thought like, okay, I'm just gonna try to shoot a 670 and at least leave the field with a smile. And then the second half, I don't know what got over me, but I shot a 350. So a 337 and a 350 obviously makes 687, and you just need to shoot a whole lot of tens. I mean, there's nothing more to it than just shoot everything as close to the middle as you can.
Yeah. I saw a picture which you had something on your shoulder, some kind of device.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that was? It was like something, you know.
I'm trying to become RoboCop.
Okay.
But
awesome.
So far it hasn't brought me anything. No, I have an inflammation in my shoulder.
Yeah.
So there's some swollen tendons and muscles, and I'm not a physio, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But cooling it helps. So if I cool my shoulder, I can move it better.
No.
So I shot my qualification round with a bottle of ice against it pretty much the whole time.
Okay.
The device that I had on my shoulder, it's like a bucket with ice water, and then it has a hose through, and it basically just cools my shoulder by getting water into the hose and past my shoulder.
And how long did you have to have that? How long did you have to have that on for?
I just as long as I'm in the hotel room, I have it on my shoulder.
Okay.
It's, hours and hours of cooling.
And when I saw you the other day, you showed me that you couldn't even lift your arms up above your head. Can you do that now?
Yeah, I think until here.
Still painful though.
It's still painful, yeah.
But you shot 681 in qualification. I think that deserves a round of applause from everybody. That with arms like that is good work. Good work. How did your round go, Mackenzie?
I'm actually pretty pleased with my round. I had a couple of shots that I wish I could take back and do it again, but I think everybody does that on the field. They're like, I wish I could take that shot back. But I'm really happy because I've had a few struggles this year, and to come out and shoot closer to my average, which I switched bows 5 days ago, because it's just something I wanted to do and had more confidence in. So I'm pretty excited for what's going to come after this.
And so your individual competition's finished. Sjef's got some matches still to play. I think it's a relevant question. However you do, how do you finish up a competition, assess how it went, and take that forward to the next one?
I think primarily you just have to focus on what you actually did. I think every competition is either a win or a learning experience. I don't really think that there are big losses. I feel like there are days where you definitely feel like you can do more, and then you learn and you move on and you do something different. But I think I think every day that you would consider a loss, you kind of, you know, slam the bow down, or you hit something, kick something, get your frustration out, and then you get back to your normal, because being mad isn't going to help you win the next medal. So
you agree with that, Sjef?
Yes, it's important to stay objective. So don't say like I shot bad, so I need to do something differently, or just look at what you did and see what you can improve and why you did the things you did, and then go by that.
And before we move on to the rest of our little program here, let's mention Kim Woo Jin, shall we? While everything was going on with Kang Chae Young, the guy who dropped 15 points on the first half, his world record from Rio is only 20-point shots, and by the end of the second half, the guy was within striking distance.
The second half was just extraordinary. I mean, looking at the score sheet, it's just X, X, X10, X. It just, it's something to behold.
I was on the target next to him, and or not on the same target, but like the target next to his, and he seemed to be flabbergasted by what he was doing. He shot a 60 in the first end, and then a 59 and a 60 again, and then we looked at him and like we gave him thumbs up, like you're doing well, and then humble as he is, he said, "Oh, it's just a lucky shot." So. But
I can't imagine luck plays that much role in it as well. So
I got a question. So sorry, I'm taking over, John.
Oh well, fine. Okay, sure.
So you know every time he shoots, he does this beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Like, I'd love to know why. I'm going to ask him at some point.
I suppose it's just a routine.
It's the coolest thing in the world. Like.
I think it has to either be a tick or his glasses slide down his nose
Yeah.
to where they have to be in a certain position so that the string alignment is right, or the picture is right.
So maybe I should get glasses just for that reason.
Just to look cool.
I was watching the online feed in Shanghai, and there was a sort of extensive discussion about Kim Woo Jin will only shoot a 10 when he pushes his glasses up, and if he doesn't push his glasses up as nice, it won't be a 10. And of course this is nonsense, but after a while every single person was watching for like this see if the thing went on the nose.
So I remember when the news about Im Dong Hyun being blind first started coming out.
He's not blind.
Before London,
I know the news is blind, but he's not blind.
I think it's either with those two options, like it's a tick or it's a
I suppose if it helped him in a competition where he, for instance, had like a sweaty face or whatever, and it slided off, and then he kept doing it, and it worked. I suppose he can just keep doing it and have it as like a thing in his shot routine.
The third option is he's just doing it to give us something to talk about,
Could be.
and just playing the long game on a really funny joke.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, it's really working well.
It should be great, wouldn't it?
The very last end, you know, he needed 59 to break his own world record, and he put the first one in, and it was a 9. He killed Coach Cohen. He sort of said this sort of, you know, this kind of thing on his face, and then I think the next arrow was it an 8 or a 9, and
and
just,
the liner.
You see the shoulders just sort of sunk, and then the last four was so just get them, you know. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to shoot the third or fourth highest score in history. You know, no, I don't care. You know, I don't care.
I think Brady shot 697 in 2016 in Shanghai.
Yeah, he did a 95 as well, Brady, in that same year, I think.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
So it's still super impressive. I mean, if you can shrug your shoulders at shooting a 697, that has to say something.
Yeah,
it's insane. Right, so before we move on, I just want to say to everyone out there, if you have any questions for Sjef or for Mackenzie, we'll get to them later on. So please chuck your questions on the Facebook live feed, and we'll pose them to these pros. Next up on our agenda is the first ever head-to-head Flexion arrow challenge. So Sjef's been practicing on the sly on the side.
My confidence has been building as I'm watching him fletch.
He's been coming up with excuses before we went live. Mackenzie said no excuse matters. She's competitive. Who's going to win this before we move on? Yeah.
Mackenzie's definitely gonna win. I take about 4.5 centuries to fletch one arrow.
So the inspiration for this is on Sunday television. Oh, let's get rid of that. On Sunday television in the UK, there's a cooking show where they try and cook a 3 omelette egg in the quickest possible time.
Okay.
And it's invariably either excellent or an absolute mess. You know, there's like egg everywhere, and they're all, you know, laughing at each other. So
that's exactly what we're hoping
that's
for.
exactly what we're hoping for. Fletchers stuck to your forehead, you know, all over the place. So I'm gonna let you get your stuff ready. You're gonna need on your table, you get one bear shaft. I'm gonna give you.
I have
because
a bear shaft just, oh, here.
Yeah, you have a bear shaft. Yeah, chuck your bear shaft up and your fletching stuff. So I think you should get out 3 fletchings, your top and tailing tape, and the tape to stick the fletching down. Now, because this is the first go,
yeah, I have to select the best fletchers.
you have to select. Because this is the first go, I think we need to discuss the rules a little bit, how we're going to do it. Do we let them cut the fletching tape?
She already did.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh,
This
okay.
is brand. Well,
That's what
I
you
have
said
cut
before.
fletching tape.
So what should we do? Should we do uncut fletching tape? Because cutting fletching tape requires a sharp object, and if we're doing speed, I think that's.
I see where you're going.
That
with
makes
this.
the competition
Yeah,
interesting.
No, we're good.
No,
I mean,
I think,
there are 2 knives on the table already. I mean, like, you know,
We're ready to
things
go.
are getting busy.
no, let's
Whatever.
cut the fletching tape. So you can
Okay.
cut your fletching tape to size.
But I can't put them on the...
No, you can't
okay.
put them on. So they've got to be.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get a head start?
no, no handicaps here.
Uh,
So you can
thought I
you
had
cut your
some.
fletching tape to size,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to read out the new official rules, which I've just written.
Oh, you made rules. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
how do I even know what size I need?
Guess.
Something like this.
Well, you put the fletching next to it, and then you kind of
Yeah,
guesstimate.
that's what I did.
Okay.
A guesstimate.
Yeah.
Do you take the fletching tape apart yet? Well,
So you can have on your desk your bare shaft, three pieces of fletching tape already separated.
okay.
Oh, I don't know. Will that blow away?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can
My
weigh it
veins
down
are so light they'll probably end
What?
up in target 2.
weigh it down with your knife, but don't cut yourself with a knife. Okay. Your pieces of fletching tape, however you like them. Your 3 veins and your top and tailing tape, and your bare shaft. Okay. Are you ready yet, Chef?
No.
No.
But I won't be,
This
so
has
that's...
already started well, hasn't it?
Are you sure you made up these rules in advance?
Everything's there?
It was.
Right, okay, so the rules of the game are, this is the official Flexion game. It is both a head-to-head and time trial situation, okay? So there'll be a winner from the 2 of you, but we want the quickest possible time, and eventually if this works, we'll have a leaderboard with Chef at the bottom. At the top. I'm guessing.
I'm getting a Top Gear vibe here.
So there's 1 arrow from bare shaft to completely fletched with 3 veins. It doesn't have to be pretty, but it will have to be able to fly.
But they
okay?
do have to be divided like 120 degrees.
We'll give you 20 degrees either way, I think. The quickest possible.
I thought I had an edge with my wraps here, but apparently not.
And we'll test them all with a hoots.
I don't even have lines.
No, exactly. That's why I said it.
Just freehanding it. Excellent.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to time Chef. John's going to time
Okay.
Mackenzie. We've got our official stop clock here provided by Google.
I have a suggestion.
Hit me.
I think Mackenzie should do it with her left hand on her back.
I actually fletch left-handed, I think.
So
See?
right hand
Even
behind your back.
Weird.
And the last rule of all is no interfering with each other's fletching unless
Aw.
verbal. Verbal is encouraged.
Okay.
Encouraged. Okay.
Encouraged. All right. So are you ready? Are you ready, John? Are you going to press?
Yeah,
Are you
I've
going to
got-
call this 3, 2, 1?
Do you want a
Okay.
head start?
No, I think I'm... Well, it's a leaderboard as well,
Ah,
so you
that's
might
true.
want to
Okay.
like compete with
Okay.
future opponents.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
I'm going to ask you questions while you fletch as well. to just
Okay.
Okay.
practice.
I might not answer.
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Start fletching. Interesting.
I can't get the thing off. Oh. Hit me with the questions, Chris.
We did a live stream with you for fletching.
Yeah.
It was an hour long. How many arrows did you fletch in that time?
I think I did one wrong. Like I put the wrap on upside down, and the other ones were just. I think I took maybe 3 arrows in 1 hour.
Okay, we've got 2 techniques here. Mackenzie's going for the tape on the shaft. Chef's
I
going for the
see.
shape on the tape on the fletch. Why have you gone for the tape on the shaft technique, Mackenzie?
It's easier to eyeball and space them out without using lines.
Fair enough.
I'm more excited for this than shooting.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about
My
this.
hands are shaking.
So some people really enjoy fletching, some people don't, some people see it as a chore. On a scale of like 1 to 10 of like, where 0 is I don't enjoy it and 10 is I really enjoy it, really enjoy it, what would you say? What would you say you lie?
-3.
3. Okay.
Minus 3.
Minus 3. Oh.
Mine's actually like a 7.
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
good, yeah.
enjoy doing it because of just having something to do while watching Netflix or watching Hulu or something like that.
Indeed.
Just watch your TV show that you.
So we're well over a minute now. Mackenzie's
we
on
got, we're
commentating
on to minute
stage. Chef's still
23.
lying behind with his last vein. You're gonna have to press stop
It's
soon.
looking
You're gonna have to press
pretty
stop soon. Do you fletch anywhere in particular?
In my bedroom.
Yeah, I have a little corner in my bedroom that I.
You did it! Did you do
Damn
it?
it.
What?
1 minute 40!
Wow.
Have you done it?
Keep
Yeah,
going, Mackenzie.
I'm- no, I'm done.
144.
Oh, you done? Oh.
144.
Do the judges
Okay, we'll
have
call that
to,
one.
like,
Let's have a look at
think?
let's have a look at these.
I'm seriously shaking.
Yeah. I was like kind of taking my time, honestly.
Yeah, I'm good.
Very nice. Yeah,
That's
you
really
look at that
good.
one.
That's really
this
good.
This is also very strong, I
That's
believe.
very short.
Okay.
Can we judge ours as
Yeah,
well?
you can
Yeah, you can
have a
have
look
a
at
look.
that one. I think they're both
That
acceptable.
was pretty good.
So
Wow.
You don't have a lot of angle on your veins.
I don't angle my veins. I just have them straight
Why?
because they work.
All right.
All right.
well, official
Excellent.
result.
Official result. Okay.
Wow.
I'll mark that in. Wow.
Mackenzie Brown, 1 minute 44 seconds. Round of applause for participating. But the winner of today's Fletching head-to-head challenge.
Honestly, that wasn't smack talk. I seriously thought you were going to.
Big round of applause for Sjef Vandenberg, everybody.
Fantastic. Woo!
Oh, that hurt my shoulder.
Calm down, Sjef. You've got to shoot still. I think that was pretty slow from both of them, though, frankly.
Well,
Wait, can we go again?
Nope.
Can we do another one?
Nope.
You want to do another
Negative.
one?
I want to do another one.
She can do another one, but I'll stick with this.
Yeah, you're done with your entry.
Yeah.
You're happy with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Mackenzie thinks she can do better, so this will not be an official time for the leaderboard.
Okay.
All right? Okay. Okay. You ready to retime?
I am ready to retime.
I did a Facebook challenge once, fletching 3 veins, but I think you were allowed to. Oh no, I had these sticky thingies, the pieces of tape. I had them on the table, so I could just like snatch them
That's
off and put them
definitely
on.
That's cheating.
Speed
That's
was
It wasn't.
cheating,
It
okay.
was within the rules of that challenge, and then it took me 33 seconds, I think.
Someone update the rulebook. That is not within the rules of this challenge. Do you want to get yourself ready, Mackenzie? Are you
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm going to count you down and you can press start here. Okay.
Knock yourself out.
Do you need
3,
coaching or?
2, 1, go.
If you want to coach, you can.
I'm not sure what to say.
Holy
How are you going to
cow.
improve your speed this time, Mackenzie? What are you going to do?
I'm already slower than the last time. I'm like so nervous.
It's because I'm watching her. Now. I'm
Yeah,
not focused
I'm
on my own
like
thing.
super.
15 seconds already gone.
That helps for sure.
I wouldn't shoot this in competition though.
Why,
Really?
why not?
I would totally
Oh.
shoot mine.
What's wrong with it?
The veins are like they have some clearance between the vein and the wrap.
Okay.
So I just like threw them on and then.
See, mine
wrapped it
I
up.
like actually would shoot these arrows.
Do you normally freehand it or your arrows, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I do.
You don't put lines in your arrows?
Nope. My eyes are good enough to see where it's supposed to be. Am I over my time yet?
What were you
no,
on?
oh no, you're well on.
You've
what we got?
moved off. 52
52
seconds.
seconds.
Okay.
Halfway.
And you're almost there. I mean,
Yeah.
and the top and tail tapes are super easy.
Why were you so slow the first time? That's the real question.
I have no idea. I thought I was just
She was
like.
sandbagging.
Yeah, probably. I think it was just that Sjef told me that I was gonna win and lied to me, and I thought that was really mean.
I
so I think it was
didn't
just.
mean it like that.
Yeah.
I seriously thought you were faster.
So 1 minute 20.
Is this just the start of some incredible gamesmanship that's going to dominate this competition? You know.
1 minute 24.
Whoa.
1 minute 24.
See, it's the.
Let's have a look at that. Let's have a check.
That back tape is not the best.
Can we
but-
have a look at the other one?
I don't know which one it was. I think it was that one.
If you
Yeah.
go for quality instead of speed, her first arrow would definitely beat mine because you can see like
Yeah.
with,
Okay.
I mean,
with this
that's
vein.
the new one to check.
the new
Are
one.
you accepting that?
Uh,
Are you accepting that?
Back tapes a little bit. That's good. Yeah, it plays.
It's messy. It's messy. Do
messy.
you want to have a look, Sjef? So
I
Mackenzie's
believe her.
Mackenzie's second score of 1 minute 24. So we said we wouldn't allow it. Will you let it stand on the leaderboard, Sjef?
I will.
You will.
Oh, okay.
Right, I'll add it in.
Right.
What was my time again?
1 minute 40.
You know, we need like an independent scrutineer to come along for this, don't we?
An
You know,
expert.
an expert.
Right.
Are there experts on Flexion?
I feel like I'm
I feel
becoming
like
one.
You should probably invite James Park from Australia.
He is pretty good.
I don't think the budget of this event would have allowed for a flight from
Okay,
Australia.
do it again while James Park is also in the tournament.
All right, so what are we on to next? John?
Do we have any results at the moment, or I'm not sure whether there's anything.
What's
come
going on?
through
What's
at
going
the
on in
moment.
the background? Should we have a little look?
I think they just finished practice, it seems.
So in the background, yeah, it's
Compound.
2:45 here in Antalya. The compound men and compound women are starting their first round matches. Hopefully, we'll have some results by the end of this, but it depends how long Mackenzie and Sjef talk for more than anything. Shall we get to the
It's all up
interview?
to you.
Depends on the winners.
Shall we get to your interview questions? Before that, just a reminder: if you have any questions for Sjef or Mackenzie, please send them in on the Facebook chat, and we'll pose them right at the end of our little podcast.
Sure.
So, John, what do you have?
Okay. My first question is for Sjef, which is what's your favourite other Olympic sport apart from archery, and why?
Badminton.
Badminton.
And for the Winter Olympics, curling.
Okay.
So
Why?
I like badminton because it's fast and it's a nice sport to watch, and I played it as a kid a lot. And if I could choose like any other sport that I would be the same level as archery, it would be badminton, because I've always like loved it and loved playing it. And then curling, I don't know, maybe it's just because there's a lot of people that don't like it,
Yeah.
that I like it, just because I'm a rebel like that.
Well, it's archery on ice as well, isn't it? I mean, you
Yeah,
basically
yeah, a little.
you're going for an enormous target. you
But
know.
then with archery, you cannot make sure that your opponent doesn't get points. So with curling, you can
Yeah.
like hit the other,
That's true.
and I really like that.
Okay. Mackenzie.
Yeah.
How much of archery is luck?
However much wind there is that day.
Okay.
I feel like with the wind it is luck. There are calculated ways to determine the wind as far as the windsock and some other things, but I really do feel like it's just like maybe 10-15% luck. Most of the time it is definitely how much you have trained and how hard you've worked for it.
Cool.
That's my week.
How much
Yeah.
you've trained?
I've trained a lot. Approximately, yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Sjef, which other archers do you really admire? Actually, give us one other archer, maybe on the field today, that you really admire,
On the
or you
field
really like
today?
watching.
On the field here in Antalya.
I like, for shooting style, I really like watching Takaharu Furukawa, because it just all looks so smooth and relaxed, and I wish I could do that as well,
Okay.
instead of having all like muscle tension and then just forcing them in the middle. So yeah, and like historically, I would say Tommi Poikolainen.
Finnish Olympic gold medalist in 1980,
Something like that.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just looked cool how he shot. Not anything else, just cool.
We need to dig out a video of that and like to work this one in, I think.
I don't think that's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. But
Okay, never mind. Okay. Mackenzie, how would your friends describe you?
Ooh, I have no idea. Give me some parameters, like
Are you the life and soul of the party?
I can be.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably just more laid back person.
Okay.
Pretty much game for most anything.
Okay.
But usually just a more laid back person, and
what's it like where you come from, out of interest? You're from Texas.
I'm from
so-
Texas, yeah. So.
Wrong NFL team, obviously.
Well.
That's why I let her win.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely different than most of my family. Like everybody else is different. I think I'm definitely the laid back one in our family. Everybody else is definitely more outgoing than I am.
All right. Sjef, can anybody become a good archer?
Yes,
Why?
I think so, because I think archery is like 95% hard work, and then there's like that 5% that's just
Magic.
yeah, it's like the connection you have with your bow. But if you're really dedicated and work hard and work the proper manner, the proper way, and have good coaches, I think it doesn't really matter if you have like a huge amount of talent or if you're just like a good archer.
I have a question for both of you. When did you know that you were good? So start with Sjef. When did you know that you were good?
I think when I was like 12 years old, I started noticing that my scores were significantly higher than the scores around me from the same age group. So that's like, at that point you start thinking, is it like a coincidence that I shoot more points than them, or is it something else I do, or is it just that I'm a little better at this sport? And then, so for me it was like when I almost started shooting competitions.
Fair enough. And yourself, Mackenzie?
My first competition, so I actually started in a middle school program when I was in 5th grade and shot a Genesis bow.
What age is that?
10.
Okay.
And
I'm not familiar with the grades.
we went to a state program or state competition, and I actually shot my first Robin Hood, and then
That is super cool. That is like style.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, and it was a 10, so I was like even better. But I won in my division and beat the division ahead of me, so I was pretty excited about that. But yeah.
Okay. Mackenzie, what's your favourite part of your own shot? What's the thing you're really satisfied with? What's the thing you really like about your shot cycle?
I feel like I just look really strong while I'm shooting.
Okay.
And that's something that I have worked on, and I want my shot to look strong and almost effortless. So I feel like I've achieved that for most of my competition days.
Cool.
So happy you didn't ask me that question,
Oh,
because
okay.
I seriously,
So Sjef, what do you like most about it?
I seriously have no idea. There is a lot that I don't like about my shot, but I don't know. I think my you know how you as a beginner archer you learn to stand like a T, so just like stand straight and have your arms in a horizontal position. I think I got that under control after 20 years. For the rest, it's all all body English to get them in the middle.
Okay. Actually, Sjef is next. Has a fan ever sent you anything strange?
Physically, or just a message, or I don't think I've had any letters or whatever in the post.
Letters.
Oh, letters. Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
no letters. Sorry. Well, I had a love letter once.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not sure if that was a fan or just a random that got the wrong address.
Okay.
And I get a lot of messages of people asking me if they can get a bow for me, just a free bow. I'm very poor. Can you please send me a bow? I never send out bows because I need the bows I have, and if I have a bow, I probably have it for a reason. So yeah, it's not really. Of course, we are sponsored archers, and we get most of the stuff for free, but that doesn't mean that we can just hand them out like free cookies. So that happens a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Mackenzie, what can you cook?
Anything.
Anything.
Oh, that is a huge claim.
What's your speciality?
I really like to bake.
Okay.
For the longest time, I wanted to be a pastry chef. So I really enjoy being in the kitchen, and I pretty much like cooking and baking anything.
So we should have done the egg. We should have done the eggs rather than the fletching arrows.
I totally would have been down.
That's gonna be a job to bring out here.
That was gonna be dangerous.
Yeah. I like the science behind everything. So how the reactions happen and all of that stuff. Hopefully, no explosions, but.
Cool.
So what is your speciality? Sorry.
She said baking.
No. I want a single dish. I don't want a general.
How good is your carbonara?
I have never made carbonara.
So
there are a lot of things that I haven't made, but I have confidence that I can make anything.
Okay, fair enough.
But I like making cakes. Cakes are pretty good.
Awesome. Right.
I once set off the fire alarm by just making soup. I just burnt soup. And
You burnt soup?
So that's how good of a cook I am.
Wow.
So I'm not really doing my name any good.
So please, can you bring us some cakes? And Sjef, don't bother.
Sure. I'll bring the icing already made,
more.
and you can decorate the top.
Maybe I can probably burn it without a stove.
Oh, okay. Well, that's talent for sure.
Okay, Sjef, what's the most embarrassing thing you like watching on TV?
I don't really watch embarrassing stuff, I think.
Okay.
What do you watch on TV?
I do a lot of Netflix, and if I watch TV, cable TV, it's mostly Discovery Channel or National Geographic, and then on Netflix I watch anything that's Marvel or looks like Marvel or anything that has to do with superpowers.
Is it Deadliest Catch or Fool's Gold for you?
Deadliest Catch.
Deadliest Catch.
What's Fool's Gold? I've never seen that one.
They try and dig up gold in like the north.
They have to wash
gold
it.
mines.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
good. I'll give that a try. Okay.
It's medium.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's okay.
It's the same every episode. That's pretty much.
Okay.
You have anything more?
No, that's it. That's good.
Cool. Before we move on, I want Sjef. I want you to ask one thing to Mackenzie that you want to know from her, and Mackenzie, I want you to ask Sjef one question. Who would like to go first?
So I can think a little more.
Something interesting about archery. It doesn't have to be about archery, but
What was your favorite part about the Rio Games?
I think the favorite part was to be able to communicate with everyone from your own country. So not only archers that
Yeah.
you normally see on a competition like this, but also every like hockey player or
Yeah,
just any sport.
Yeah.
That was really cool in my opinion.
I thought so too.
Cool.
And I am still without any inspiration whatsoever.
Sjef, you're on the spot.
You're just too interesting. I mean, I can ask you too many things. What's the poundage of your bow?
I'm shooting 43 pounds,
Okay.
which is a little light for me. I usually shoot closer to 45 or 46.
Okay, I thought it was even more, so that's why.
Yeah, no,
that's why I
I'm
asked.
Okay.
I'm a wimp right now.
Fair enough.
Only right now.
What?
Only right now.
Yeah, only right now.
Cool.
25. Excellent.
So, just you can still bring in your questions. We're going to do one more thing, and then we're going to get to some questions that we've received on the feed, and then we're going to let you go. So the last little feature for us today is the 60-second general knowledge quiz.
For the
So,
record, I dislike anything that has to do with time limits. So if I have to shoot 6 arrows, I
okay.
get 4 minutes, and I only use 2, so that's fine. But if I have to do something as quick as possible, like fletching, I generally dislike it.
okay,
Except for when you sandbag and win.
guys, are we going to have the countdown clock? Is that a
Countdown
thing?
clock, yeah?
60
Oh, 60
seconds.
seconds, there we go.
60
Okay.
seconds is up. Am I going to count? Am I going to count 3, 2, 1, and you go? Okay. So we're going to do. Who should we do first, Mackenzie or? Should we flip a coin? We've all got a coin.
You've probably got a coin. I think we've all got a coin somewhere.
Do we?
Hang on, I've got a coin. I've got a coin.
Music
Go
one.
for it.
I've got a Turkish coin. Right. So we've got the one is heads, and the Turkish flag is tails.
Okay,
Just because that's what I've said. Do you want heads or tails, Mackenzie?
tails, please.
I'm going to drop this. And it's going to be really embarrassing. Turkish flag, tails. First or second? You choose.
Second.
Second.
Second. Okay,
Chef's
Chef's
up
first
first.
then. All right.
Right.
Okay.
So you're going to ask the questions. I'm going to call out whether it's right or wrong.
Okay.
have
How
to
do we
give
start
an
the timer?
answer, right?
Just
I'm
like that?
going to
Yes,
count 3,
pass
2,
is
1, and
not
then we're
okay.
going to go. If you give the wrong answer, I'm going to give the correct answer,
Okay.
just to drag the time out a little
You
bit.
do the answers? Okay.
So you're going to do the questions, okay? And if you start the question in the time, you finish the question, okay?
All right. So like
Is that
I've,
it? Everyone-
I've started, so I'll finish. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
So
everyone
the last
understand-
question, I'll get unlimited time.
God.
I look forward to that.
Are we all ready? Is everyone ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Which item protects an archer's fingers?
Finger tab.
Correct.
Which year was the World Cup started?
2007.
Incorrect. 2006.
Okay. Where is Mackenzie's Olympic tattoo?
On her arm.
I'll give him that. Yeah, it's a
forearm.
wrist. I'll give him that. Yeah. Okay. Who was the first Korean man to win individual gold at the Olympics?
Oh, Jin Yuk.
Yes.
Was Jin Hyuk. What was the top recurve men's qualification score here in Antalya?
697.
It was.
Correct.
What is your current world ranking?
7.
Yes.
Which country does Viktor Ruban represent?
Ukraine.
It is.
Yes.
What distance is shot at the Youth Olympic Games?
60 meters.
Correct.
Who was women's Olympic champion at Beijing 2008?
Some Korean.
No.
No.
Zhang Juan.
Oh, okay.
Who's from China? Which was the first World Cup event in which you medaled?
Shanghai 2014.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, time.
And that's
I
it.
think
We're
that's
leaving
it.
that. So,
what's the total?
1, 2, 3, 4,
gonna be
5,
terrible
6,
at
7, 8 answers correct, 2 incorrect.
I knew it was Chinese, but I popped out Korean.
Just because it was a better bet. So.
Well, no, I seriously knew it was Chinese, but then I didn't know the name, and then I said Korean instead of China. But
It's the time pressure.
that's it.
This is effective practice for match play, right here.
Okay, can we reset the time clock, please? You got it. 60 seconds. Okay.
I'm going to count you in, John.
Okay.
Are you ready, Mackenzie?
I don't know, but we'll try.
3, 2, 1, go.
Which item holds an archer's arrows?
Quiver.
Correct.
What color is the middle ring in a competition target?
Yellow.
Correct.
Where is Sjef's Olympic tattoo?
On his shoulder.
Correct.
Yes. Where was archery held at the Olympics in Rio?
It was in the stadium for Carnival.
Which is called.
Oh gosh.
Can I say it?
It was the
Sambodromos.
Move on.
Okay.
What was the top recurve women's qualification score here in Antalya?
691.
Correct.
What is your current world ranking?
11th.
10.
10. Which female archer was ranked world number 1 for 1,033 consecutive days?
I would say Chiang Hai-Jin.
No, Sarah Lopez.
Lopez.
Oh,
If
you
one
said
of your
Coco.
individual matches went to 5 sets and 1 shoot off, how many arrows would you have shot?
That is 16 arrows.
Correct.
16. Who was men's Olympic champion at Sydney 2000?
Is that Victor Ruban?
No, incorrect. Simon Fairweather.
Which was the first? Oh, time. Okay.
Yeah, I was terrible at that.
Hang on. So
I started that one.
you,
so
yeah,
we
you
should
can have
finish
the
that.
last question.
Okay. Which was the first World Cup event in which you medalled?
Poland.
No.
I medaled in Poland.
Hang on. Let me
You might
check.
have medaled in Poland. Maybe it's not the first one. Have you medaled like mixed team or
Did you
team?
medal mixed team prior to
Oh,
because mine
mixed
was
team
in-
was in 2014 with Brady and
that? In which
Shanghai.
event? In Shanghai. You both medaled at the same event the first time.
That's why we asked the
Yes.
question.
Okay,
so
the official score for Mackenzie: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Terrible.
5. Not great. Actually. How do you feel about that, John?
I feel fairly positive for the first, the first quiz.
I thought we would go
we
further
went
back
smooth.
in time, as in like 80s and 90s. But
Would you like to go further back in time for the next one, Chef?
maybe,
I see.
and maybe
Okay.
next year, so I can.
You can practice.
Work on it.
I have 2 more questions to see whether just one question is just not included in the score.
Okay.
Do you know where Mackenzie finished at the last Olympics?
I'm gonna say 9th because it's like an easy answer.
1 round too far. 17th, right? Yeah. And where did Chef finish at the last Olympics?
4th.
4th. Now you look bad, Chef. Now you look really bad. Ah. Anyway, right. Moving on.
It's too recent.
Moving on to the last.
Do we have any questions from the public?
We do have questions from the public. I'm just going to open up my screen again. Oh, hang on a second. I've got the names of the people here as well. I just need to.
Is it their names or their kind of handles?
No, we're on Facebook, so they're.
Oh, it's their real names.
so
Okay.
It's real names.
Seb Pino joined. Oh, good news.
Yeah. Hi Seb.
Hi Seb.
Hi Lexon. Hi JK. All those people watching. I just
Sorry, JK, for not replying to your emails.
So just to everyone know, we're currently in the foreground. In the background is the first round of the compound men and compound women's event. We're 9 hours into the 15-hour match. If you want to follow the scores, check out worldarchery.org. The reason we've done this kind of podcast situation is we want to bring you more live content from the earlier parts of competition, but it's really difficult to film matches when there's so many going on. It's a fool's errand. So we decided to sit down with some beautiful people and talk rubbish, frankly.
I think you're doing us a disservice here. Yeah.
So
I know what you mean.
if anybody wants to get any questions in, they can. This is the last chance. I'm going to start off with one from Jim Bergson. What is a good way to practice for 70 meters without actually being able to get to a range? I'm going to go with you, Mackenzie.
I would say visualization is really good, as well as if you have a form master or a shot trainer is what it's called as well. Both have their merits. I think visualization is really good, especially if you're preparing for a competition that you've been to before. You can kind of imagine yourself there and kind of go through that. And then with the shot trainer, you can actually feel the way it is to shoot the shot and keep your muscles toned and ready.
Perfect. Anything to add, Chef?
In the Netherlands, there's some people I know that have like a shed where they have a target high up, And then if you just aim at something at about eye height and your arrows go up, you can still practice the angle of your shoulders and of your body, so you can still get the 70-meter feel without actually going to.
Would you say getting that feel of the distance, like in terms of the body position,
Yeah.
is the most important part?
Yeah, because
of that?
going from like let's say an 18-meter competition to a 70-meter competition is like a huge step for your shoulders and your core to make that like angle work. So that helped people in the Netherlands before.
Yeah, I seem to remember Alison Williamson in Great Britain. She used to practice with like two bales like stacked on top of each other as well. So and she'd have the 90-meter angle and the 70-meter angle as well, just to, you know, to get the body positioned the right way.
Especially in 90 meters is useful for women. Why did you do that?
Sorry?
Why did you do that? 90
I don't know. Well, no, people shot like. I think she used to hold the record. Yeah, I'm probably going to get like shouted down now.
There was national records, I think, in the
yeah,
UK.
and they used to shoot the full feater as well. I think
gents.
Naomi holds the record for the
Gents feater.
yeah the gents feater. You're allowed to shoot
what
the
was
gents
the
feeder.
score? Do you remember?
I don't know.
We can't call it. It's not feature
She's
anymore.
challenged.
Sorry, not feater. The WA 1440 round.
World Archery 1440 round.
Fita.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Adrian Lopez is asking, hello, I have an important championship. Maybe say hello, just first of all.
Hello.
Ciao.
I have an important championship next week. Would you please give me any tip that you can give?
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
That's my only and best tip.
Nice one.
Just stay relaxed and trust your training. That's what we do when we come out here. You don't win a competition by walking onto the field. You win a competition by practicing. So trust what you've done and just have a good time.
Excellent.
She's much more professional than me.
She's coming back. Greg White is asking, Sjef, would you ever ride a motorcycle?
I would, if my girlfriend would let me.
Hey, Greg.
She's too afraid that I'll drive myself into a tree and not survive.
Fair enough. And Greg is asking, Mac B, if there was any other place rather than Texas where you would live, where would it be?
Oh gosh, that's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? Like out of the country or in the States?
I don't think he specified that. You can answer whatever you want.
I've thought of several different places, but let's go out of the United States. I really enjoyed going to Australia, and I feel like that was a really beautiful place to be. I haven't been to the Netherlands yet, so I can't say that
Next year,
Netherlands is off of the list.
The World Championships next
Yeah,
year.
absolutely.
Okay,
Cool.
excellent. Jake Bullitt has asked, how far is the beach?
It used to be really close to the hotel, but now they closed the stairs and they're renovating the beach. So
So no stairs.
you have to like walk all the way around. So it's a little further, but it used to be maybe 1 kilometer
Yeah.
at most.
So, just to cut in, not a question. We've had some information from the UK.
Okay.
The record in Britain, the national record, because we have in Britain they have records for the long 90-meter World Archery 1440 round.
I didn't know that. So
Is Naomi Fulcard's with 1276.
Oh wow, I need to shoot a FITA again. I shot one men's
That's the gents
FITA.
feeder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
okay.
shot one men's 1440 round, and I shot a 1255.
1255.
So I need to go out and
All right,
practice.
we'll start keeping an unofficial record book for this.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I shot like 2 World Archery 1440 rounds in the last 4 years. So
Well,
that's how many I still shoot.
What's your best on it?
1350. Like that's it. Exactly 1350.
I think they still shoot them at the Asian Games. I have to check. I think upcoming the Asian Games, which is under different rules from the World Archery. I think they may still use that as a ranking.
I don't know.
I think I'm pretty sure they did the last time.
Sounds like
when
you're
it was in
taking a monkey
Korea.
on that. We'll have to
No. Last time I was in Korea, because of course the Koreans love the 40-40 round. So they'll
Alright, we've got
continue with that.
5 more questions before we hang you out to dry and leave you there. Sean Quelch is asking, on your shot sequence, how flamboyant is your follow through? And we'll pose this to Sjef, because yours isn't that flamboyant, is it? Let's be honest.
I am always within my 80 centimeter. No, I'm quite flamboyant in my shot. I think at the World Cup final in 2016, Carl Archery and Zach Garrett were commentating, and they said I was probably incorporating a backflip into my technique. So that's how flamboyant I am, supposedly.
And does it matter?
Yes, because when you're aiming and you're trying to like get your bow to the middle, but there's a lot of tension on there because you shoot like over 50 pounds, not much is happening. and then when the shot goes off and the tension breaks, like the arm goes where you're trying to get it to go. So it's more that you're not stopping the motion of like the aiming than actually throwing your bow somewhere.
Okay, good explanation.
Excellent.
Oliver C, how do you guys go about setting your front shoulders? Let's give this question to Mackenzie, shall we?
I would assume he's talking about like the bow shoulder. So for me, I think it's just making sure that that's in line. I really try to align my shoulders in line with the rest of my arm, so making sure that that's in pretty much a straight line, but also make sure it's not like lifted as well. Make sure that those stay nice and level.
Okay, excellent. Anything to add, Sjef?
No, that sounded better than what I'm doing. I just lift my bow and hope for the best.
Ella Rose Carson, do you have any advice for good mindset training?
I do a lot of body scans, so you can find them on YouTube or pretty much anywhere, also on Spotify. A body scan is basically lying down on a mattress or on the floor, and then having a voice tell you where you need to focus on your body. So it will tell you focus on your left elbow, and then you have to focus all on your left elbow and feel what's going on with your left elbow. And you'll not be able to do that for 40 minutes straight, but the most important part of it is that when you're not able to focus on the thing you're supposed to focus on, you have to accept that and go back to the thing you're focusing on without being mad at yourself. And that's totally relatable to archery, because if you're shooting a bad shot, you don't want to focus on the bad shot, but you want to focus on the next shot.
On the way to Shanghai, I was stuck on a plane with this German guy who was trying to explain this to me for like the entire 12-hour flight. It was the most irritating thing in the world.
Was he telling you what to focus on?
Yeah, he was trying to get me to focus on like my left elbow, I think it was. Well, I'm glad it works for you.
I'm sorry for bringing this memory back.
Mackenzie, your mindset technique.
I think it goes back to what I was talking about preparation for tournaments, and then just trusting what you've got. I'm constantly working on that, making sure that when I'm going to tournaments, I'm relaxing and letting things flow like they're supposed to. But I've actually never heard of that, so I think I'm gonna look that up and try that out.
For me, it's been a huge help since I think 2014 that I'm doing this. Basically because I was known for getting really mad at bad shots, and after that I started learning to not get so mad and stay objective and just get back my focus.
It's kind of that's kind of a mindfulness training technique, is that right?
Yeah.
It's definitely part of that kind of world.
And it sounds really like floaty and weird, but if you get used to it, it's really usul.
And we've had clarification on the Asian Games. It is not a 1440.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure it was last
lying
time.
again.
I believe it. Extrapolating.
David Fonseca. Apologies for my pronunciation. I'm terrible at pronouncing words in general, let alone foreign names. What do you guys do differently when you have to practice, but you're tired of shooting the same targets at the same distances? Mackenzie.
I'll usually pick up a light bow and try to shoot 70 meters, or do something silly, switch it up, because it does get really tiring after a while, especially when you're like in the middle of the season and you've got 18 tournaments and you got to go to this one and then this one, that one. So when you have some time, I think just have a little fun with it. I think training is really intense sometimes and you don't like training. Most people don't like training that much. But I think that when you go and like trick your brain into thinking, oh, this is fun right now, and just have fun with it and do something different.
That's the way, Sjef. Cool.
Also try to remind yourself that there's probably a lot of people in the world that would like to be training and that you have the right to train at that moment.
Very true.
So that's something that I often do, because I train full-time, and there's also a lot of people that have a full-time job and would like to train full-time. So
Absolutely.
See it as a virtue instead of as a thing you must do. And just switch it up. So if I shoot a wooden bow and I shoot a compound bow and I shoot everything I can get my hands on, just get different things in my hands.
Did you try and shoot a thumb ring ever?
No.
Well, I tried it in China, in Shanghai, when we had it on a practice range for like an hour. We should so do it. So weird, so
Really?
weird.
Yeah, I've done it.
I wanna
It's
try
really,
it.
It's
Completely
trickier than I thought.
My
it was
dad
gonna
has one, but his thumbs are like twice as thick as mine, so the thumb ring is also twice as big.
Yeah,
So you
maybe
can't
don't
shoot
try it with your shoulders.
Yeah, maybe not now.
Yeah,
think that'd be
we'll set
cool.
that up, shall we?
I also think we should try curling because that is actually one of my favorite
Yeah?
winter sports
That would be
too.
pretty good.
No, well, the Netherlands has loads of curling ice rinks, basically.
Do we? We have a lot of like long skating tracks, like 400-meter skating tracks, but I don't know of any
Curling rinks.
curling.
We'll look into it. We'll look into it.
That'd be cool.
I'm all over. I'm all
we
over
should
that.
set that. Would be a
We can do
great
it in
thing to set up.
Switzerland. I suppose they have a lot of ice rinks in Switzerland.
Yes, that's a conversation for another day. Two last questions before we close up. Higo Kobesa, what do you think is the most important part of your shot? We'll go with Mackenzie first.
This is a reoccurring question.
We already asked this question, didn't we?
Semi
quite.
sort of, but I also did another interview with it. But I really like making sure that my stance is really strong. I think that that's a really important part that a lot of people don't think about a lot. You kind of just set it and let it go, but I think stance is really important. And then my alignment, again, shoulder alignment, making sure that that's strong.
And that's because all the technique flows through the base that you put in place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And making, because the top is basically what you're shooting with. You're shooting with your arms, with your shoulders, but it has to be stable as well. So, especially with the aiming that we do. So I think the base is important as well.
Fantastic. Sjef?
For me, it's mostly that the most important part in my shot is that I try to work to the middle as like eager as possible in every shot. So no matter if my form doesn't feel exactly right, I just try to like still force it into the 10.
Okay. Cool. Each to their own. Each to their own, as they say. Natalie Lung, how do you guys practice indoors? That's kind of a general question. How do you practice indoors? But that is the question we're leaving with. So, how do you practice indoors, Sjef?
The same as outdoors. I grab my bow and shoot.
Yeah.
There's not much to it, and for me the most challenging thing for indoors is that it got really boring really fast, because every time you shoot a 10 for like on this level, it's normal to shoot a 10, but if you shoot a 9 it's a disappointment. So indoors is more frustrating than outdoors, because outdoors you can shoot a good end with some 9s, and indoors if you shoot a couple of 9s you're not happy anymore.
So I just want to rewind there. The reigning world archery indoor champion just said indoors got really boring really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also indoors. In the indoor season I try to shoot 70 meters when the weather is like allowing it to shoot me 70 or have me shoot 70 meters, just because it changes the shot. And for me it was more fun to shoot indoors with fat arrows, because then you can at least see the arrow fly instead of having an instant result after you release. So yeah, but I guess whatever I did worked for some reason.
Yeah, great. And Mackenzie.
I would agree with the disappointment is higher, but the reward is really cool too when you're shooting really close to perfect. It kind of shows you what you can do indoor. It means that you can just as easily do that outdoor. I think that with shooting indoor, it's definitely a perfection game, which I mean obviously it is out here too, especially with a 691 being shot. But yeah, I prefer the tournaments because it's just more laid back and more fun, but I definitely like shooting outdoors better.
I think that's a 100% vote there on that side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Mackenzie. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Sjef, for taking time out of the tournament to come and talk to us.
No
Thank
problem.
you, John. Thank you, everybody at home, for watching us. Guys, you want to say goodbye to the guys at home?
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
I'm going to leave you we're going to leave you with a couple of shots of Kang Chai Young's 691 world record yesterday here in Antalya. And for the rest of the week, don't forget to tune in on our website, on our social media channels, and watch the live feeds from the weekend. We're on Friday and Saturday with the finals for a crazy reason. So don't miss out. Cheers.